Well, in tri-state area news, well, I guess East Coast news.
Yeah. We
Obviously,
had an earthquake.
we had an earthquake. That was exciting.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
For
thought
anybody who's listening, we're Jersey people, so it happened in our state.
yeah, my first reaction was sitting on the couch,
Yeah.
and I was on my laptop working from home that day. Normally, I would be in New York, so
Yeah. So it
if I
happened to
was
be a
in the
Friday.
listen, if I was in the
Oh my
building
god.
and the
Yeah.
building started
You
rattling,
would have came
I
home.
would have been gone. I wouldn't have stayed. I don't
Yeah.
care. I would have thought the whole thing was coming down. I'm like, listen,
You would have been so scared.
I would have texted my manager like, listen, I'm
Oh my
home. I'm
god.
sorry, but luckily I was sitting on the couch. They're
Mhm.
doing brand new apartment construction across the street from us, so I was like, at first I'm sitting there, I'm like, what's that?
Yeah.
And then obviously they had a crane across the street, so I'm like, hopefully it's not the crane that was coming down or something like that, but it wasn't that. And then my next thought was, especially because you
Yeah.
brought it up a lot, was the Miami, the apartment in Miami, the whole building collapsed on the people. So my next thought was, nah, this whole apartment is going down. So yeah, so then I ran into the room.
Yeah, I was in the
you
room.
You were looking
I
at me
was laying in,
petrified.
yeah, but yeah, okay, I was laying in bed. Like, okay, so I had a 10:30 a.m. meeting. For anybody who knows, this earthquake happened as it was like 10:23. So I had an alarm set for 10:28. So literally, it was like 5 minutes shy of my alarm going off. I was taking a nap before my 10:30 meeting, and yeah, I was taking a nap in the morning because I had an almost all nighter before. So I was tired, and I was asleep, and that woke me up. So that's why I looked petrified because I was like, I got woken up by it. Cause I was like, I wasn't in a deep sleep, so that's why I was still enough to be awake. Cause I was already awake, and then I went back to sleep. So I just woke up to the bed like swaying, and I see like you could hear the movement, like cause
Yeah, it was loud.
Yeah, and stuff was moving on our we have a TV in our room, so our TV was on the dresser like swaying. I was just like, babe, cause he was out here. So
Yeah, I
like,
ran in there. I was like, nah, let's go.
yeah,
Because my first thought is never an earthquake. Like,
yeah, exactly. 'Cause our last earthquake that we felt up here like was 2011. Like we've had earthquakes up here, like that happened. Cause your mom was saying tonight that she felt earthquakes before I work.
yeah,
Cause she works in the area where the epicenter was, but so earthquakes happen like frequently. I've heard apparently they're just like 1.1, so nobody feels them. But our last like earthquake that we felt was 2011. That was in Virginia. So that's why it's like almost 15 years later. Nobody thought it was an earthquake. Some people thought initially, but not me and you. I was like, I was putting my pants on.
Yeah, we were putting clothes
hoodie.
on. I was getting out of here.
We was about to literally. I was like, let's just go sit in your car. Like we didn't know what was happening. And then you came out here. And your people was IMing you saying earthquake. So I was like, okay, if everybody felt it, then we're safe because clearly that wasn't just our building.
Yeah, I was like, all right. Then we stayed because I was.
But that was like crazy, like yeah, because you were in here, so was everything moving? Like were the lights moving?
Yeah, everything was moving. Like I was sitting right here on the couch, and I was like
all the stuff on the counter too. Like
no, the stuff on the counter is heavy, so it wasn't moving too much.
The lights though were swaying these.
Yeah.
And what was that the Connect 4?
Yeah, the Connect 4 was okay. It wasn't like anything that was kind of heavier. I think the Connect 4 wasn't swaying because the table was a little bit.
The TV was swaying, right?
Yeah, it was like a little bit like a
like
little rock. Like you hear like the creaking of certain stuff, and then
I wonder if it affects our building, like the stability. Are these buildings meant to sway?
After 9/11, basically any new construction. And definitely in New York, but in the area in general. And this is why places like in Texas, when it rains, their whole house disappears because they have different building codes. But us, because of 9/11 and everything that happened with there, these are structurally more sound. So they're meant to absorb, not a crazy earthquake, obviously, but they're meant to absorb more motion than buildings used to be, because like in Newark you saw like the building,
those buildings hit each other, which is so crazy,
but those were older, pre 9/11, so those are built differently. Even these new constructions, why they always start with the stairwell first for that stability. So
that could be a worry. Obviously our building might not
the structural, but the building's definitely fine. And
that was crazy though.
My mom said they shut down the tunnels. So the Holland Tunnel.
The Holland Tunnel was closed when it happened?
And Lincoln Tunnel, they closed it.
Apparently, like a lot of flights too. Like there was one flight apparently that was supposed to like land around the time that it happened, and you could see the flight pass. It circled around like Central Jersey, and then they ended up going around New York. It was gonna land in LaGuardia, and then they ended up coming back to Newark. It was like they said it was like an hour delay. Like them just flying. Can you imagine? I'd be like, oh my god, like what is happening?
Yeah.
But I guess like they didn't. Like what reason would they do that?
Because you don't want to land a plane and then the ground starts like opening up. Like that would be insane.
Yeah. But they should have known like right away where it came from, right? The source.
Yeah, but you don't know what's gonna. You don't know what aftershock's gonna happen. Like it is dangerous. Like you trying to land a plane and the ground is moving below it. Like that's kind of wild.
I wonder if any planes were landing at the exact time.
Probably because there's planes landing like every.
Yeah,
What's the
literally.
stats? Like every
Every
minute.
Can you
Because it's
imagine?
crazy. It's
It
crazy
was like
living near the airport.
I know we see them like clockwork.
But yeah, so that was
Yeah, that was
definitely
crazy.
wild. But
Like in hindsight, I don't know. It was kind of fun, but it's like it was dangerous,
no, it's
but it
pretty
was
cool
kind of
because I was
fun. Yeah,
like,
because like
no harm. Well,
whoa.
hopefully
Yeah,
nobody got
thank
hurt
God
because we
nothing
did
happened.
see, like, I think was it Randolph, New Jersey? It was somewhere where I think the water main broke and then it ended up, the force of the water ended up breaking a highway.
Yeah.
I don't think the highway cracked in half because of the earthquake though, and then just some trees fell on houses, but
Yeah, I don't
nothing.
think no deaths
I
or
don't think
nothing
any deaths.
reported.
Hopefully
No,
not.
yeah,
No,
no
hopefully
major
no
injuries. Yeah,
injuries.
I don't think any of that.
But the
It was
big
crazy.
thing that came from this is all of the insane conspiracy
Conspiracy.
theories. Now, here's one thing to note: there are some things that I do believe in,
Yeah.
and the other part about that though is that I am open to everything. So I will never say hard pressed that this is true, this is not true. I'll never be that person because I think when you close yourself off to the potential for things to happen, then we wouldn't even be anywhere in the place that we are today. Like if you
Yeah.
told somebody that a computer would exist, like at some point in history,
Yeah.
they would have laughed at you,
Like
right?
closed mindedness.
Yeah, closed mindedness is horrible.
Is the worst for growth.
Terrible. You would never grow if you're closed minded. So I'm gonna
Mhm.
put that first and foremost. But within that, I still do have my personal beliefs for whatever reason. But with the earthquake happening, because
4.8 magnitude.
because people aren't accustomed to that type of activity in this area, especially in New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
The solar eclipse,
April 8th, 4.8 magnitude.
the magnitude matched the date,
April 8th.
and lightning hit the Statue of Liberty. Was it the same day or was it the day before?
Whatever day it rained. So that was like Wednesday, Thursday.
Yeah, so
it was like the day before.
People were saying it's a lot of different government activity, and it very well could be. But in the same way that I don't like to be definitive in my stances on things, other people I feel like shouldn't be so definitive on their stances on things, especially if nobody has any proof or evidence of any of this stuff. You can say what you believe, of course, but don't be so hard pressed to say that this is a fact. The government did this,
and don't try to spread it for everybody else to have to listen to what you're saying and believe what you're saying.
Yeah, because the blind lead the blind. I won't bring the religious part of it in because I have respect for people's religions. But there was definitely a lot of religious activity related to this.
The end of times, the world's ending, he's coming.
Yeah.
And I just feel like, for me, like, I don't want to, like I said, bash the religious thing, but I feel like for me, like, the reason why that kind of always throws me off is because, first of all, if you were really religious, they would say that no man knows the time. Like, that's like in the Bible. Mm-hmm. No man could tell when the, what is it called? The resurrection, when he comes back. Like, nobody would be able to say that. So people trying to act like they know he's coming goes against their own belief. So that like confuses me. But also I just feel like if you just do simple, like I just don't like hysteria. If you just do very simple research, earthquakes in New Jersey, they're rare, but they're not uncommon, if that makes sense. Like they've happened. Like we just said, like your mom felt one. Like they're just bigger ones are rare. I should say the bigger ones are rare, but earthquakes happen. Like the Ramapo fault line, I learned the day of the earthquake what that was. I personally didn't know that, but not like the more you know. Now I know there's a fault line in New Jersey, so having earthquakes here are not that abnormal. We have a whole fault line. So let's like use our brains. Like let's not be so use hysteria. Tall buildings that are in New York. Lightning usually touches the tallest thing. Lightning strikes the Empire State Building, the World Trade Center, the Statue of Liberty all the time. Almost every time it's lightning here, I can literally
every time because our view is.
I can literally see the strike hit behind this building where the World Trade Center is.
Yeah.
Like almost every time there's a lightning storm. Like these are not abnormal things that are happening. These things are happening a lot. Is it a coincidence that all these things happening around the time? Yeah, but that's what math is. There's probably this thing called probability. The probability that all these things will happen around the same time, it's not likely, but it's not impossible. Mm-hmm. So I just don't like hysteria. Like there's a fault line in New Jersey. Like it's just do your research.
Yeah, it's the fear mongering.
It's not crazy. If there's a fault line existing, then earthquakes are bound to happen near a fault line. Like this is basic geography. Learn. Please open a book. Read. Like stop spreading. Like the fear monger. Stop trying to be like all hysterical. Like somebody's like, watch Monday the 8th. When that's tomorrow, right? 8th. Yep. When the eclipse happens, prepare. And people in the comments like, see you on Tuesday. See you on Tuesday. Like eclipse happened in 2017. Why act like this is the
Nobody's
first eclipse?
well,
This is
because they know this. They all said the same stuff during that time. But
God. It's
what is
like
it about
it's just a solar system. It's called science.
what is it about the sun being blocked out? I'm not even trying to be funny.
I'm being funny
I'm
because
trying to
they literally
understand.
are crazy.
No, I'm trying to
They're
understand.
literally going through psychosis. Like we're witnessing mass psychosis. We really got to like figure that out.
What is the? Because I'm trying to understand. I still will. If once I understand people's perspectives, I still might call you psycho, but I at least want to understand your people's perspectives.
Yeah, what is it about the sun being blocked temporarily
Do you
too?
know what people were saying?
I haven't seen actually because I just don't like even getting into it because I just know it's craziness.
With the shadow,
I guess
the
it scares
darkness.
them that our planets orbit in the system and that the moon orbits and then the sun orbits. I guess it scares them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't get it, but maybe I'll do some more research on why people are afraid of it. I
This
think
just happened in 2017. Do people not remember that August
I
2017 or what was it?
no,
July.
but people continue to say the same things every single time something happens, right? Every time something happens, right? Because it was 2012. It was if the people were saying, remember 2020, God's playing like not playing fair or something when everybody was dying and COVID and Pop Smoke and Kobe Bryant. Every time there's something, then people always say this year is doing whatever.
Yeah.
Like this year is
apparently
wild.
right now is New York is being punished. Like for what? What are we being punished for? Because we had a minor earthquake that killed nobody. Like,
that happened in New Jersey.
and because the sun's about to be blocked for a few seconds before that shit moves down to Texas. Like
Yeah,
what?
I don't know, man.
And because we had the lightning strikes to Empire State or the Statue of Liberty, which happens almost every time a lightning's here. Okay, I guess we're being punished.
That is why all of the skyscrapers in New York, pretty much all of them, have
Yeah.
a spire. That's
They're
why.
literally meant to take that impact. They're literally
Because it's gonna hit them. They know it's that common. That's why they build them
like it's
for
called
that.
science.
But anyway,
I can't. Like it scares me actually because, like I said, for me, it almost feels like we're witnessing mass psychosis. Like it's like you're seeing in real time. People are literally like insane. And I mean, I can't blame them because people are so indoctrinated with their beliefs. But sometimes it's like it's too much. Like I don't. Like I said, like I'm not anti-religion. Like that's crazy. I have my beliefs. I don't feel like publicizing. But it's like I'm anti like when it gets too cultish for me. Like when it gets too much like drinking Kool-Aid type people, I get away. Like those people who are too churchy, too the world's ending. Prepare like that. I can't. When that stuff happens, I have to take steps back. I just get like you're stressing me out. It's too much for me. So because we talked about it before, like and those type of people have been the people that have been linked to the most deaths that have happened in this world. Literally.
take a step back.
No, I'm saying like religion has killed a lot of
but
people.
you're talking about one specific one. That's what I'm saying. Just
I just mean like religion has been linked to so much deaths. Some people who are too
I got you.
passionate. Yeah, I don't mean like that. I'm saying people who are too passionate with their beliefs usually are the ones that end up killing people. Like somebody just killed some guy. I don't know if you heard. He killed his wife who was like 6 months, 7 months pregnant because he was Muslim and she was like white, and his family wasn't gonna accept her, so he strangled her. Because his Muslim belief, like that's crazy. Like your belief like took you over that much that you killed a pregnant woman who you were supposed to be in love with. Like when religion drives people to do stuff like that, that's when I get like scared and I gotta move away.
anyway.
Didn't mean to get into a little rant there, but I'm just saying like.
Anything else on the earthquake?
Huh?
Anything else on the earthquake?
I guess. Well, we said we were talking about the conspiracy theorists. I guess it's the same thing, right? Yeah.
No.
But yeah, like, what I just want people to do is just read, open a book, learn. Learning is knowledge is power. Your grandma was just saying that knowledge is power. It is because it's like I said, I didn't know about the Ramapo Fault, so now it was cool because now I learned a lot about it, like because of this, and it's cool to. They said it was like the basin. It's like separates the mountain range or something. It's like there's like a basin in New Jersey, so it's cool now like to learn these things. Like instead of being so scared, like what are people scared of? Like is nature. Like let's just learn our earth. The more you know. So let's stop acting like everything is some conspiracy, something bigger. It's just our earth. Like the earth is naturally in a cycle. Like another thing I learned is that apparently the Atlantic Ocean is widening by an inch every year. So it's like our planet's just constantly moving and it's gonna go through cycles. Like not everything is that serious. That's just life. Like life is meant. There's a birth and a death and everything. And I just feel like our planet is constantly moving. Like cells and stuff are constantly moving at every moment. Like the cells moving all around us right now. Like there's constant movement. So things like earthquakes are bound to happen where there are fault lines. That's it. Lightning is gonna strike the tallest things in the area. That's it. Like sometimes the solar system is all moving at the same time. So sometimes the sun and the moon are gonna pass each other. That's it. Like nothing is not like the conspiracy theorists need to sit down, breathe, maybe go to a psychologist, a psychiatrist, and get off the internet. But my question is, what is their end goal with the fear mongering and the spreading of their theories? What do you think it is? Like just to get clicks? What do you think? What's their goal?
I think they're just speaking their beliefs.
But do you feel like they're trying to get a goal? Like, do you feel like they're trying to gather followers, believers with them? Like, what do you think? Like,
No, I think people.
just talk out loud.
I think people have their beliefs, and they believe that they're seeing their beliefs come to life. So if you take the Bible, for example, there is a passage in the Bible that does speak to uh, this exact scenario that happened,
That's true.
where the sun got blocked out, the ground shook
That's true.
tremendously. And I think there's another part to that passage, but I don't recall. Um, so it is a specific piece in the Bible that would attribute it to the sun being blocked out, which would be the eclipse,
The
and
eclipse.
the earthquake, the ground shaking.
Yeah.
So I think people in their beliefs see these things coming to life. So fear mongering is probably not the right word to use for it, but I think that's the reason. So it's like they believe something so heavily, and then now they want to they're like taken aback by it. So they're embracing their belief basically
Yeah.
on the internet, and other people that follow it,
Yeah.
they agree with it, then it becomes the community of it. So fear mongering probably isn't the right word that I use there, but it's
Networking.
yeah, it's just a shared belief in something.
Yeah, and like I said, like I'm not going against people's beliefs. Like people have their beliefs. I'm not trying to disrespect their beliefs. I just feel like what I don't like is when they think that it has to end all be all. Like this is fact. This is concrete fact. When it's not. And I feel like let everybody believe what they believe in. Like I'm like have your beliefs, but also like just I just want everybody to be open, like you said, to just don't be so set on your beliefs. Like be open to everybody's perspective, and like maybe be open to some things that kind of challenge your belief. I feel like I said, that's the best thing for growth in life and an individual, like to challenge what you believe in, and don't always just, especially if it's like your parents taught you, like just be open to like other things. That's all. But I do get that connection. Like the Bible does talk about those things. But for me, sometimes I get like worried with the Bible stuff because I know it's a man-made document. So it's like it's kind of hard to for me to fully 100% believe everything that's in the Bible, because I just feel like it's written by it's a man-made document. So it's kind of it's iffy, but it's interesting because I also sometimes think too some of the stuff that's in the Bible could have just been people like their observations of things that happen to planets, and maybe they saw an eclipse and like it for them they felt like it was something, so like they felt like that's like a sign of the times, But I don't know. That's the lovely thing about life is that none of us know at the end of the day, right? Nobody 100% fully knows the truth, and who knows if we ever will. Maybe in death we will, but I don't know. But my conclusion is literally just I just don't like when people almost like bash you too, like for like if you challenge them. You know what I mean? So yeah. Hopefully we have no more earthquakes. Well, we'll probably have another earthquake in our lifetime in Jersey for sure, right? So it's just a matter of when. What do you think? Do you think they're gonna be more frequent now?
No.
Yeah, it's just gonna be. Well, last time this one went off in particular, the Ramapo one was when the 80s, the one that you're almost talking about. So that's kind of wild. It's been a minute. So maybe another 40 years.